Dear students, welcome to EPG Padashala. I am Dr. Gauri Shankar, Assistant Professor working in a Government Medical College, ESI Hospital, Coimbatore. In this module, we are going to learn hormonal secretions. Hormones derived from the Greek word. The hormones are chemicals produced by glands that are transported by the circulatory system to target organs for physiological regulation and behavioral activities. In our body, the glands are divided based on their functions into two groups, exocrine glands and endocrine glands. The exocrine glands are called as external secreting glands. They secrete their products through the duct onto the body surface or into the body cavities. Examples are sweat glands, salivary glands, and gastric glands. The endocrine glands are ductless glands. They secrete their hormones directly into the bloodstream. For examples of endocrine glands are pituitary glands, thyroid gland, adrenal gland. The endocrine glands in the human, the main gland is pituitary gland, thyroid gland, the glands in the pancreas, adrenal gland, testis, and ovary. The hormones are the chemical messengers of the body. They regulate the body physiology based on the signals from brain. These hormones, if deficient or if excess, can lead to hormonal disorders. The endocrine glands in the human beings are, the first thing is the pituitary gland. This pituitary gland is the master gland. It is rightly called as bandmaster of endocrine orchestra, as it secretes a number of hormones which regulate the activities of other endocrine glands. It is reddish grey oval structure, about 10 mm in diameter. It weighs about 0.5 gram. It hangs below the hypothalamus by a stalk called infundibulum. This picture depicts the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. Basically, it is composed of two lobes called as anterior lobe, the second is posterior lobe. The hormones secreted from the anterior lobe are, the number one is growth hormone. It stimulates the growth of bone, cartilage, muscles, visceral organs, and the body as whole. It promotes protein synthesis, intestinal calcium absorption, and glycogenolysis. So in this picture, you can see the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland secretes the growth hormone. This growth hormone acts on the liver. From the liver, it stimulates the insulin-like growth factor 1. This insulin-like growth factor acts on the bone, muscle, etc. So it stimulates the growth of these bone, muscle, and vital organs. If you look into that, another picture, the growth hormone acts on the adipose tissue. So it has a direct effect. So because of the direct effect, it stimulates the growth of the adipose tissues. And also it acts on the liver. The insulin-like growth factor released. This is the indirect effect. It acts on the bone and it is responsible for the development of the bone. The second hormone is adrenocorticotropic hormone. This hormone influences the activities of another endocrine gland. Here the target endocrine gland is cortex of the adrenal gland, which is stimulated to produce glucocorticoids. ACTH is secreted in more amount during emotional and physical stress. This is also called as stress hormone. The third is thyroid stimulating hormone. It controls the growth and the activity of thyroid gland. It also stimulates thyroid gland to synthesize thyroxine and release it into the blood. The fourth hormone is follicle stimulating hormone. It is an gonadotrophic hormone. In females, it stimulates the ovaries to develop and maturation of the ovarian follicle. In male, it stimulates testes for the development of seminiferous tubules and spermatogenesis. So this picture, pituitary gland gets stimulated and it releases two hormones, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. These two hormones act on the ovary, and in male, similarly, these hormones are released from the pituitary gland. It acts on the testes and thereby it releases the hormone testosterone. The next is the luteinizing hormone. This is another gonadotrophic hormone. In females, this hormone promotes final maturation of ovarian follicle, ovulation, and formation of corpus luteum. In males, it stimulates the interstitial cells of testes, causing them to release male sex hormone androgens. The sixth hormone is lactogenic hormone. It is also called as prolactin. It stimulates the growth of mammary glands in females during pregnancy and initiates the secretion of milk after childbirth. Here in the picture, the mother after sucking, it stimulates the brain. So the pituitary gland started secreting prolactin. So the prolactin is responsible for synthesis of milk. Then the another hormone, oxytocin. So this hormone is secreted by the posterior pituitary gland. This posterior pituitary gland is responsible for laydown of milk. So the next, this is about posterior lobe. The posterior lobe of pituitary releases two peptide hormones. Both these hormones are synthesized in the hypothalamus and are carried to the posterior lobe along the nerve fibers where they are stored. They are released into blood as and when required. So this picture, the hypothalamus secretes two hormones and it is stored in the neurons. The neurons that produce the hormone released through the pituitary tract. The posterior lobe secretes two hormones, that is oxytocin and vasopressin. This oxytocin is a hormone stimulates the contraction of smooth muscles of the uterus in pregnant women and causes easy childbirth. It also contracts the smooth muscles of mammary glands in lactating mother and facilitate flow of milk at the time of suckling. So this is hypothalamus. This hypothalamus neuron synthesis ADH and it is stored through the neurons. It is stored in the posterior pituitary. So whenever there is a need, ADH get released. It acts on the blood vessels, so it causes vasoconstriction. So vasoconstriction leads to increased blood volume and increased blood pressure. And also the ADH act on the kidney, that is convoluted tubules, so that it increases the reabsorption of water. So whenever there is a decreased blood pressure in our body, there are receptors in the aortic arch and carotid sinus. So these receptors carries the signals to the brain. So these receptors called osmoreceptors. So in turn it acts on the hypothalamus and favors the release of ADH from the posterior pituitary. Another importance of ADH is to bring about the contraction of smooth muscles of the intestine, gallbladder, urinary bladder and blood vessels. Hence, large quantities of hormones causes the arterial blood pressure to rise due to contraction of peripheral arterioles. The next topic is hypothalamus. It secretes both releasing and inhibitory hormone, controlling the secretion of some anterior pituitary hormones. The hormones released from hypothalamus are thyrotropin releasing hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone, growth hormone releasing hormone, growth hormone release inhibiting hormone or somatostatin, prolactin releasing factor, prolactin inhibiting factor, gonadotropin releasing factor. So in this picture, the hypothalamus releases two types of hormones. One is releasing hormone. This releasing hormone responsible for turn on of anterior pituitary. The hypothalamus again secretes inhibitory hormones. It is responsible for turn off of anterior pituitary hormones. In turn, the anterior pituitary hormones responsible for the release and then it acts on the systemic target organs. So this hypothalamus, we are seeing that the gonadotropin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus, it acts on the pituitary. In turn, it releases two hormones, luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. These two hormones act on the end organs, that is testis, ovary. So this is responsible for gonadal hormone secretion. Similarly, thyroid releasing hormone is also released. The thyroid releasing hormone from the hypothalamus, it acts on the pituitary and in turn release thyroid stimulating hormone. This thyroid stimulating hormone in turn releases the thyroid hormone production. So the corticotropin releasing hormone is released from the hypothalamus. It acts on the pituitary and in turn releases ACTH hormone. This ACTH acts on the adrenal glands and so on like that. That's a growth hormone releasing hormone. It released from the hypothalamus. It acts on the pituitary and it releases a growth hormone and it is responsible for the growth and development of the organs. Similarly, there is a product called dopamine. That dopamine from the hypothalamus, it acts on the pituitary gland and releases prolactin. This prolactin is responsible for the breast lactogenic formation. The thyroid gland is another important gland. It is a bilobed gland situated in front of the neck. It has two glands, that is the right thyroid gland and left thyroid gland. Is connected by isthmus. The two lobes are joined together called a tissue called isthmus. Its weights about 25 to 40 gram. It consists of large number of glandular follicles or vesicles filled with colloidal proteinase secretion called thyroglobulin. The thyroid secretes two hormones. The first is thyroxine from the follicular cells. The second is calcitonin from parafollicular cells. The thyroxine, it is an iodine containing hormone. It has two forms, tetraiodothyronine, that is T4, it constitutes 80%, triiodothyronine T3, it constitutes 20%. This triiodothyronine is 3 to 4 times more active than T4. Under the influence of TSH of pituitary, the thyroglobulin of the thyroid follicles break up to form both these type of hormones. So in this picture, the hypothalamus releases thyrotropin releasing hormone. This thyrotropin releasing hormone in turn acts on the pituitary gland and it releases thyroid stimulating hormone. This thyroid stimulating hormone acts on the thyroid gland and it releases T3 and T4. The T3 and T4 in turn acts on the target organs. It increases the metabolism, the growth and development, and also it increases the catecholamine release. Some of the important functions of hormones are: these thyroid hormones increases the basal metabolic rate due to high oxygen consumption and energy production. It is responsible for normal growth and development, and also it is responsible for the maintenance of healthy hair and skin. It also increases glucose absorption in the intestine. The second hormone is thyrocalcitonin. It is secreted from parafollicular cells of thyroid gland. The release of the hormone is stimulated by high level of ionized calcium in the blood. It is hypocalcemic and hypophosphatic hormone and reduces the level of calcium and phosphorus in blood by excreting them through urine. It acts principally on bones and inhibits the removal of calcium from bones. During growth and bone formation, the calcium deposition on bone only takes place, but its removal into blood inhibited, thus allowing the growth of bones. The next is parathyroid gland. The parathyroid glands are 4 small glands placed on thyroid, 2 on each lobe. So this picture tells you the 2 parathyroid glands on either side. This is present on the posterior aspect of the thyroid gland. They secrete parathormone. It is responsible for maintaining calcium level in the blood. It maintains the calcium level in the blood by increases calcium absorption from intestine, decrease its excretion in urine, lowers the serum phosphate by excretion. The next gland is adrenal gland. Adrenal gland is also known as suprarenal gland. There are 2 adrenals, one on the top of each kidney. Each adrenal weighs about 5 to 10 grams. Histologically, each gland is composed of 2 distinct regions. The outer one is called cortex and the inner one is called medulla. So this is suprarenal gland that present above the kidney, composed of 2 layers. The outer is cortex and the inner is medulla. The adrenal cortex has 3 layers. The outer layer is called as zona glomerulosa, the middle layer called as zona fasciculata, the inner layer is called zona reticularis. The hormones secreted from adrenal glands are steroid hormones and our function is significant. The hypothalamus secretes corticotrophic releasing hormone. This hormone acts on the pituitary. The pituitary hormone in turn releases ACTH. This ACTH acts on the adrenal gland. This adrenal gland releases the following hormones. The zona glomerulosa secretes mineralocorticoid hormones. Aldosterone is the most active hormone. It stimulates on the renal tubules of the kidney to absorb sodium and water and excretes potassium and maintains the electrolyte balance in our body, and also it maintains blood volume and blood pressure of the body. Zona fasciculata secretes a hormone named as glucocorticoids. Some of the glucocorticoids are cortisone, cortisol and corticosterone. Their secretion is stimulated by ACTH of the anterior lobe of the pituitary. These are primarily concerned with metabolism of carbohydrate, proteins and lipids. During stress, they promote conversion of protein and lipid into glycogen, and finally in liver, glycogen are converted into glucose. Zona reticularis secretes sex hormones. The male sex hormones are androgens and is converted to more potent androgens such as testosterone in the testes, or in females responsible for release of estrogen. So these hormones affect the secondary sexual character in their specific target organs. Estrogen is responsible for breast growth, pubic hair growth, wide hip development. Testosterone is responsible for body hair growth, voice breaks, muscle growth. So the secondary sexual characters in male and female. In male, the voice becomes much lower. Hair starts to grow on chest, face, underarms and in pubic areas. The body became more muscular. Penis became larger. The testes start to produce sperm, and in females, breast growth, nipple enlarged, hair develops under arm and in pubic area. Hip became wider, uterus and vagina become larger, ovaries start to release eggs and period begins, that is menstruation starts. The adrenal medulla, this part of adrenal gland is a portion of sympathetic nervous system. When stimulated by sympathetic nerves, it secretes two hormones, one is adrenaline, another is noradrenaline. These are responsible for fight or flight. These hormones are also known as catecholamines. The catecholamines are emergency hormones and is secreted in larger or smaller amount in relation to the strength of the stimulus from the central nervous system. In situations like shock, fear, excitement and danger, the secretion of adrenaline is greatly increased. This increases the quality of blood pumped through the heart. Due to vasodilatation in skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles and brain, more amount of oxygenated and glucose-rich blood is supplied. In other words, the body becomes energetic to meet the situation. The next is pancreas. The pancreas is a mixed gland in which pancreatic acini are exocrine and the islet of Langerhans are endocrine glands. The islet of Langerhans are made up of alpha cells producing glucagon hormone and beta cells producing insulin hormone. Glucagon is a peptide hormone and it is known as hyperglycemic hormone. It raises the blood glucose level by breaking down glycogen into glucose in liver. The secretion of glucagon is controlled by blood sugar level. When blood sugar level is in optimal range, glucagon secretion is reduced, but in hypoglycemic condition, that is low blood sugar situation, more glucagon is secreted. Insulin, it was first extracted by Banting and Best in 1921, for which they were awarded Nobel Prize in 1923. It is a protein hormone having 51 amino acids contained in 2 polypeptide chains. The primary function of insulin is to regulate blood glucose. It is also known as anti-diabetic hormone. Some of the functions are described. It increases membrane permeability and helps transport of glucose into the cell. The insulin promotes formation of glucagon from glucose in liver and muscle. It stimulates protein synthesis and overall growth. It prevents the breakdown of fats and formation of toxic ketone bodies. Insulin and glucagon are thus opposite in action, and balanced secretion of both helps in maintaining the body. Testes. The male gonads are pair of testes. Besides producing spermatozoa, it also secretes male sex hormone known as testosterone. The testosterone are steroid hormones and are produced from interstitial cells or Leydig cells of seminiferous tubules in testes. Primarily, they control secondary sexual characters, growth and development of accessory reproductive organs. The effect of testosterone, it is responsible for hair growth, collagen growth. In sex organs, it is responsible for sperm production, erectile function, the growth of the prostate gland. In muscle, it increases the growth of the muscle, it increases the strength, increases the endurance. And the brain, it increases the sexual drive, it improves the mood, confidence and memory function. And in bone marrow, it turns over the RBCs production, and in bones, it maintenance of bone mass density. The most important androgen is testosterone, which performs the following activities. It promotes the growth and normal function of the epididymis, vasodifferens, prostate and penis. The hormones promote spermatogenesis and help secretion of seminal fluid. It stimulates the development of secondary sexual characters such as deep male voice, hair on face, axilla and pubic region, and greater skeletal and muscular growth. The secretion of testosterone is stimulated by luteinizing hormone from anteropituitary and is controlled by feedback inhibition. Hyposecretion of the hormone results in a disorder called gynecoidism, in which secondary sexual organs like prostate, seminal vesicle do not develop properly and penis remains small. Ovary. The female gonads are pair of ovaries, one on each side of the lower abdomen. The main hormones secreted by ovary are estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen promotes the development of secondary sexual characters at puberty, such as development of mammary glands, broad pelvic region, enlargement of genitalia with growth of hairs, high pitched voice and fat deposition at particular region to make typical feminine body. The progesterone is a hormone to maintain pregnancy throughout the gestation period. It prepares the endometrium and uterus for implantation of the fertilized ovum. It is also develops the placenta to supply nutrients for development of the fetus. The uterine muscles do not contract, hence it is also called as anti-abortion hormone. It stimulates the full growth of the mammary gland. This is about menstrual cycle. So the estrogen and progesterone influences the menstrual cycle, and also hormone FSH and LH influence the menstrual cycle. This is another picture, the influence of estrogen, progesterone, FSH and LH. The placenta is a tubular cord between fetus and uterine wall. It secretes hormones like human chorionic gonadotropin, estrogen, progesterone and relaxin. So in each trimester, the hormones released in the first trimester, human chorionic gonadotropin release is higher as compared to estrogen and progesterone, and in the second and third trimester, estrogen and progesterone influence is more, so it starts rising. Regarding human chorionic gonadotropin, it is secreted during pregnancy, exerts a protective influence on the developing fetus. It appears in blood and urine after implantation. Pregnancy card is confirmed by directing this hormone in urine. It influences the ovary to produce progesterone. It also promotes the development of mammary gland. Relaxin is another hormone secreted by placenta, also secreted from uterus and corpus luteum. It stimulates the relaxation of the pubic symphysis of pelvic girdle towards the end of the pregnancy. In conclusion, we have seen the various endocrine glands. So the main gland is pituitary gland. It secretes a number of hormones, and also the other endocrine glands secretes their own hormones. These hormones act on the target organs. So these hormones are released from birth, and these hormones, wherever it acts on the, it is responsible for the growth and development of the each and every cell. This hormone is responsible for the maturity. This hormone is responsible for day-to-day activities. So any changes in the form of deficiency or increase in hormone responsible for disorder.